Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. So yeah, hopefully you're getting on okay. You're having a had a good week, and hope you're looking forward to your weekend. And if you're not, sorry about that, but sound like I'm taking a piss out. I'm sorry about that break, eh? No, but seriously, if you're going through anything, I hope you're able to get through it, and hopefully you are looking forward to the weekend. And if you're not, hopefully you can find a way to experience some extent of joy, to have a reason to look forward to the weekend in some capacity, right? Maybe you can find a reason, I don't know. But yeah, obviously I'm continuing on with more of the visual novel. I think obviously I did it yesterday, and I was like, maybe I'll do it later. I think maybe, I don't know for sure, but I feel like I might have said I'll do more later on, but then obviously I decided against it. Oh, it's just, I don't know how much longer we've got. I feel like we've got a good chunk left to go, and I feel like it's going to be at least an hour and a half of the sauna, right? Going through that. It's not like I don't want to play through it, right? It's just like, I want it. It's not like I'm enjoying the visual novel. Obviously, that's part of the reason I started playing more. Because I'm enjoying it, and I'm really getting into it, right? Especially after the moment with Kaori, right? I'm obviously I enjoy it. I've at one point or another in my life, especially over the years, I've enjoyed their PixelFade novels, right? It's just obviously I really got into it with once we started getting closer to Kaori, right? And I'm actually getting into this, right? I want to continue. I want to continue this. But at the same time, I want to get through it because, I want it to be done so I can move on to something new, because Ace Academy has been months. It's been over almost a year in the making, and that's partly my fault because I was doing it I was up to part 3, then I took a long ass break, several months, off, and now I'm back to it, right? And I've only been streaming for like maybe a month and a half. I've only returned streaming for like a month and a half. Basically 1 to 2 months between. Let's just say 2. I've been streaming for about 1.5 to 2 months, right? I've done an incredible amount of catch up in that time. But even then, I could have been done with this. I could have been done with Kaori After Story. I could be onto like a new. I could be onto Ethereal Enigma by now, at the very least, right? And it's actually new content, completely new. I've never seen it ever, and I've never streamed it ever, right? Like, it's completely new content, and I've technically completed Ethereal Enigma, but I got like an abrupt ending. It's not. You could arguably say it's like a fake ending. It's not a real ending. Right, because the ending, it just happens because you didn't choose to continue the game, right? It's a false ending, you could say. You could arguably objectively say it's a false ending because it's not really an ending. It's more just an abrupt end, right? It's not really a real end. It's not a proper game ending, right? It's not a canonical ending. So, obviously, for once, I could at least be around to that right now, and I'm not, so. Thinking about it, as I say that, right, I feel like, now that we've got closer to Kaori, I speak of that, and I'm like, we joke around with Valerie, but then I'm like, I've got to be careful with Valerie. I don't know if I said it in the past, but I've definitely got to be careful with her, right? Because obviously we're joking about, and, she's very playful. Right, she's very playful and flirty, but at the end of the day, right, if push came to shove, I'd have to put a stop to it because I don't want to be, I feel guilty, like with how close we're getting to Kaori, especially when we joke about, we engage with Valerie the way that we do, right? Like I got to be careful about, how we go about, hanging out with her. Pardon me, because I don't want to be unfaithful to Kaori, I don't believe we have. I feel like I definitely remember and know if I have. And if we did, we'd have to, open up to Kaori about it and hope that she'd accept us. But so I definitely don't think we've been unfaithful to Kaori, but I've got to be careful with Valerie, I've got to be careful with her. Not that, she's not a bad person. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's just, you could, at the end of the day, to Valerie, it's just harmless fun. But thinking about it now, like, I'm very self-conscious about, like, you know, I don't want to make Carrie feel uncomfortable, especially with what happened at the home. You know, like when we was at the children's home, you know, we got jealous because of this, the guy. You know, our character got jealous of the guy, right? And, you know, Carrie, instead of getting angry at us, was like, no, you don't have to worry. There's nothing going on between me and him. I'm with you. I'm faithful to you. You know, Carrie could have got angry at us, and Carrie is very bizarre. It's like we were in the Twilight Zone. Instead of getting angry at us, she actually comforted us and you know, instilled trust in us. You know, she nurtured that trust with us, you know, and comforted us and you know, reassured us that nothing's going on. You know, obviously, you know, we've got to think about, you know, Carrie, you know, probably feels the same way. I mean, in fact, she has. When we were playing the game at the Halloween party, and Valerie had to sit on our lap, and technically we ordered her to do it, but we didn't know it was her, and then Carrie instantly put a stop to it there and then. You know, how would, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, there has been times when Valerie's almost crossed the line of how playful she can be with us, right? But Carrie was there to put a stop to that. What about all the times, you know, me and Valerie have, you know, playfully engaged with one another, we'll say, right? And then Carrie hasn't been around, you know? How would we feel if Carrie saw that? You know, she'd probably feel the same way as when we saw her hanging out with that boy and he was, you know, fiddling with her strap. Obviously, obviously Carrie just sees him as helping her, and he even admitted that, like, you know, he hopes that one day something would happen. Now that he knows she's with us, he's put a stop to that, right? He said, I feel like he said he's going to back off now that he knows she's with us. But he was hoping something would happen eventually, right? How would we feel? How would Carrie feel if she saw us with Valerie, right? So I don't know why that came to mind. Just when I was speaking about, like, I thought it was because, you know, that's it. It's because I was speaking about, like, you know, I feel like I wanted to, you know, having that moment with Carrie, finally getting close to her when we hugged her after the shit may happened. I really enjoyed that, and maybe want to, you know, stream the game more, right? But at the same time, I'm feeling the burnout of streaming it so much. But at the same time, I want to make a big push. You know, I want to get a fucking move on. You know, and get it fucking done, so I can move on to a new novel, a new visual novel. You know, yes, I believe I've streamed Carrie After Story before, but you know, it's been so long that it will feel new and fresh. You know, plus I feel like I definitely need to make more of an effort to stream more of a visual novel. I think once a week isn't enough. A visual novel they're not short. At least the ones I play, they're not short, they're long, right? And so I need to get a move on and stream. I need to definitely make more of an effort to stream more of the novel. So, you know, I think I do want to, like, obviously I want to get back to playing the fighting games. But I think maybe I'll reserve the fighting games for off-stream stuff. I think on-stream I'll do Palia, visual novel, and maybe pinball on the side. You know, if I feel like streaming, but I feel like a bit burnt out doing the visual novel, and I've gone really hard on maybe Palia, because Palia is an MMO, right? It takes... grinding that game out takes time, right? And maybe I feel a bit burnt out grinding that out. I just want to chill and relax, and, you know, the pinball games are very much jump in, jump out. You know, there's no long-term progression. You just play, you get the highest score you can, and then that's it, right? It's very bare bones and basic in that sense, but, you know, the fun of it comes from, you know, trying to, you know, figure out the mechanics of the machine and trying to min-max the machine to get the highest score possible, you know? And so, you know, it's simple, and it can be boring to watch to an extent, but I talk a lot, so, you know, that helps things out there. But, you know, I feel like, you know, Palia, the visual novel, and pinball. That's three things to rotate between, you know, and it's not just the same thing. It's not, you know, that adds a bit of enough variety to make things a bit more interesting, but it doesn't, I don't stretch myself too thin trying to do too much. But I definitely feel I need to stream more of the visual novel that I'm doing, because once a week it's so slow, and an hour and a half at a time, maybe every week. That's just it's a decent length and it's definitely watchable, right? But I feel like I need to push more. So I feel like going forward, you know, maybe not like 3-4 visual novel streams a week, but I definitely need to make more of a push. And that also comes down to if I enjoy the visual novel. If I'm not enjoying it, then, you know, maybe, you know, move on to a different one, right? Just, you know, I just don't want to leave, I just don't want to start a visual novel and leave it unfinished, because I have done that in the past. I think there's at least 2 visual novels that I started streaming. There have been the visual novels that I have completed on stream, but there have also been visual novels that I haven't. I feel like maybe there's two that come to mind. I think maybe there's like I've completed more visual novels than I haven't, but I feel like there are ones that I've started and haven't completed, and even then I feel like the ratio is very close, like it's almost 1-to-1. You know, that I don't think it's quite that, but I feel like it's almost equal parts, ones that I have completed, ones that I haven't. You know, and I don't want to start one if I'm not going to finish it. But I guess that comes down to watching the trailers and maybe even playing the demo, you know, and seeing, you know, if I enjoy it, you know. Maybe even stream it as part 1, but if I don't enjoy it after playing it for like an hour and a half, if I don't feel like this is going to be something that I can see myself playing in the long term, in the long run, like I don't feel like I'm going to really want to commit to this, then I'll rename it to you know, the game introduction, you know, introduction only, you know, or first hour and a half only, you know, like just to indicate to people I won't be playing this beyond this point. You know, I want to just try the game out. I'll try it out on stream, and if I enjoy it, then I'll make it a series, right? But I'll title it initially as if it is going to be a series. But if I don't enjoy it, I'll rename it to, you know, at least on YouTube, that's that, you know, and make it clear that, you know, I'm not going to be continuing it, you know. So probably I would say I should be afraid to try another visual novel out, you know, like maybe I did think I was going to enjoy it, but then I play it and I'm like, no, you know what, this ain't for me. Again, I really should be getting down to playing it. Sorry, I know it's a long introduction, but I wanted to. It's, you know, I don't do update videos or anything, so this is the only way you can really, you know, get an insight into what I'm doing. But the goal is, you know, so two latest DR of that is, I think I'm going to not stretch myself too thin. Let's load the game up first. I'm going to not stretch myself too thin, and I'm going to, you know, do more. Let me hide that actually. There we go. I'm going to do more of I'm sorry, I'm going to do Palia. The two days didn't read of that is I'm going to do more Palia. Sorry, I'm going to limit what I do on stream. So it'll be Palia, visual novel, and maybe pinball. Right, that'll be it. That Palia, visual novel, pinball, and obviously, you know, I want to enjoy what I'm doing, so I could swap out Palia, right? But that's why we have 3 different things that I do on stream. You know, and you know, I want to do a couple visual novel streams a week, I think, because doing one a week, you know, I don't think that's a good pace. That's nowhere near enough time to do a visual novel. I feel like I want to aim to do like maybe a visual novel a month, or a visual novel every 2 months. Every 2 months we'll start a visual novel, and then 2 months later I'm done and I move on to something else, you know. So it's a visual novel every month or every 2 months, you know, which means I'm gonna need to do a couple visual novel streams a week. You know, I want to try and maybe push a bit more, because I mean, I don't want to get burnt out, but that's why I said that's why I've got to set a pace that I'm comfortable with, be consistent and not go too hard, but may also make sure that the visual novel that I'm playing is one that I enjoy. I enjoy this. It's just I want to move on. This has been almost a year in a year almost of me playing this. I want to move on to something else, you know, which is my own fault. Like I said, I took too long. I took a break and many months off, and now I'm only just getting back to it. But I wanna change things up. You know, I wanna play a new visual novel. Carry After isn't a new one, but it'll be fresh. It'll be, you know, it's been a long enough time that it'll be fresh. And most people who watch this on stream or as a VOD, most of you who watch this story on stream as a VOD, probably won't have seen me play Carry After Story, and it was many years ago that I played it. So, you know, it'll feel fresh and new, even though I've played it before. You know, and because with the new pace that I want to do, with the new, like, you know, volume that I want to do, and the pace that I'm going to do it at, I'll get through it hell of a lot quicker than, you know, if I was doing it once a week. And then I can finally get onto Ethereal Enigma, and that will be a new visual novel. Even though I've technically played it and streamed it before, that will be new because I'll actually make the choice to continue it properly, and, you know, it'll be fresh and completely new because everything, I'll be seeing it for the first time, and hopefully I enjoy playing it, and, you know, we'll get through it. Anyway, let's actually continue. Sorry about that long-winded, you know, explanation there. And obviously, you know, I want to learn the Unreal Engine and maybe learn some coding, so I'm going to be doing that as well, right? So I don't want to go too hard on streaming, especially when it's just a hobby. But at the same time, you know, especially with me wanting to learn Unreal as well, you know, but I also want to, you know, set a decent pace, you know. I think the visual novel and Palia will be good. You know, I can always drop Palia if I'm not enjoying it, you know. Like, I do enjoy Palia, but I don't know. I'm not, like, mega motivated to play it. I'm not mega motivated to play it. I don't know. I'll think on it. Like, I do enjoy Palia. I've been enjoying it. You know, I wouldn't have kept playing it up to this point. I wouldn't have played it through all the bugs and the lagginess if I didn't enjoy it, right? For, you know, but at the same time, I don't want to go too hard on it, right? And then get burnt out. Anyway, I'm going to really long-winded explanation, and you're not here for any of that. You're here to watch me play the visual novel, which I apologise. I'm going on a huge rant. But again, as I said before, like, you know, I don't make videos or anything, right? I just stream and then upload clips. So this is kind of really the only opportunity I've got to update any of you on what I'm doing. And that's if you watch it, right? Like, no, but if you don't watch this, then how will you know? But at the same time, you know, this is for those who care enough to watch enough of my content. So, you know, even if you don't, you know, some people watch this might not care, but I care enough to inform potential people, but, you know, those, you know, of you who potentially want to support me, to keep you in the loop. Because I'd want to be kept in the loop if I watch and support somebody, right? I'd want to know what's going on, to know if, you know, to be prepared of what's coming, you know? Otherwise, how you know what you might be interested in? Or how I know what I'll be interested in. Anyway. I wake up at the first sound of my alarm and jump out of bed. I need to meet my friends at the train station so we can all head over to the hot springs together. And I'd rather not be the last one there. They might leave without me. Just kidding. No, they wouldn't. Would they? Either way, I throw on some clothes and race to pack up what I need. After grabbing a quick breakfast, I hop on my bike and drive to the train station. After grabbing a quick breakfast, I hop on my bike and drive to the train station. I haven't been back here since my arrival to Izakaze. Izakaze? It's exactly the same as I remember it. People bustle back and forth, and the whole station is blanketed with the buzz of conversations. For some reason, the familiarity is comforting. I purchase my ticket and find Kari, Mayu, Valerie, and Yuna already waiting on the platform. Hey! Yuna and Valerie wave as I approach, while Mayu smiles and Kaori nods in greeting.
You made it.
So did you. And glance around us. Where's Sho?
Running late, like usual. He'll be here.
I hope so. He has all our tickets. Kaori gives me a look. I mean, of course he'll be here. She crosses her arms but otherwise falls silent. Even Yuna looks worried as she checks the time. We've still got a few minutes before the train comes. As the seconds tick by, even I'm beginning to lose hope. Thankfully, Sho does soon appear.
Hey guys, ready to get our heat on?
We stare at Sho.
That came out wrong.
Yeah. He looks around, a wide grin on his face.
Awesome, the gang's all here.
The laborious roar of engines is heard before the train is sighted. Sho points to the approaching train.
Just in time too, because here's the train.
You were cutting it really close, Sho.
I'm right on time.
Everyone quiets down as we get ready to board. We settle into our seats and enjoy the ride. When we arrive, we step off the train and stretch our legs. There's a beautiful hotel in the distance and the hot springs are tucked into the mountains behind it.
Alright, here we are safe and sound. Let's go check in first.
Sho leads the way to the hotel. We trail behind, enjoying the scenery. I breathe in deeply, letting the crisp mountain air fill my lungs. Just being here already helps me feel rejuvenated. We enter the hotel and the front desk agent gives us the keys to our rooms. Valerie and Yuna are bunking together while Kaori and Mayu share a room. Obviously, that leaves me and Sho and... Obviously, that leaves Sho and I to share the last room. The girls disappear into their rooms, but not before agreeing to meet right outside the hotel in 10 minutes. Sho and I enter our room. He immediately flops onto the bed closest to the window.
I claim this bed.
Nope, that's my bed. Why did you jump onto my bed?
You can't have this bed. I claimed it.
I nod solemnly, my face grave. There's only one way to settle this.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
I nod.
I won't go easy on you.
That's 2 out of 3.
Right.
We hold up our fists and get in position for rock, paper, scissors.
John, Ken, Pone!
John, Ken, Bon! I throw out paper and Sho throws out rock.
No!
That bed is as good as mine.
It's not over yet.
We get into position
John,
again.
Ken, Pone!
John, Ken, Bon! This time Sho throws out rock and I throw out scissors.
Ha, you won't take that bed away from me so easily.
We'll see. We both tied 1-1, and this last round will determine the winner. We ready ourselves one last time.
Ken, Pone!
John, Ken, Bon! I throw down rock while Sho throws down scissors.
No!
Oh, good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, if that's wrong, like, I won't do it obviously because I'm streaming, right? And I've got to have a sense of integrity and honor here, right? But usually, if I'm playing an AVN, I make a choice. It doesn't go my way. I'm like, reload or roll back. As a feature is usually called. No, we're rolling back. Oh no, my finger slipped. Oh well, let's make the choice. Let's make this choice and see what happens. Oh, it's the right choice. There we go. But obviously, I'm not going to do that on stream. But thankfully, it was the right choice. But I do that with my AVNs, admittedly. But then again, that's for personal pleasure. Literally. Anyway, destiny is on my side. Sho sighs deeply as he slides off the bed. Let Sho keep the bed. I'm on this bed. No, screw Sho. I want the bed fair and square. He wouldn't give me the bed if he won. I wait for Sho to get off the bed before settling in. So comfy.
Only because I already softened it up for you.
He settles onto the other bed, squirms around a bit, then grins.
This one's even more comfortable than the other. You can keep that bed.
Oh, I will. Once we've had a chance to rest and put down our things, we head down into the lobby and wait outside. The girls trickle in a few minutes later. Should we go head for a soak now?
We want to save that for tonight. Trust me, it's way more relaxing at the end of the day.
Or what should we do instead? Sho pulls out the tickets and studies the text on there.
What about...
Mayu's voice trails off. What about what?
What if we toured the gardens?
She points to a side clearing of blossoms and trees.
They look really pretty.
We get a discounted price for the tours too, since we already have tickets to the hot springs.
Valerie jumps excitedly.
Let's do it then.
She races towards the gardens.
Wait! Don't just run off like that!
Carrie takes off after her as the rest of us scramble to catch up. Luckily, we arrived right before the next scheduled tour and we were able to secure a spot with the group. The tour guide leads us on a gravel path and speaks non-stop about the history of the garden and each plant that we see. The history stuff is kind of cool. I wish I had the money to commission my own garden paradise, but this guy really... but does this guy really have to go into detail every single plant? I survey the flowers and trees around me. Bright petals of colour sway gently in the breeze and a few of them float towards our feet. I wonder how they keep this place so green at this time of year. As I glance around the group, everyone seems to be focused on the greenery around us. I scan the field of flowers and I'm impressed by the size and scope of the garden. It seems to go on forever. While we meander along, I spot a few trees with low hanging branches full of ripe berries a few paces off of the path. My stomach growls in response. Yummy in my tummy. Why not? No pain, no gain, right? At least that's probably what I'll be saying in the toilet when I eat these berries. Obviously, we don't know what the berries are. They could be poisonous. You know, they could not be good for humans. Or just not be good for humans, right? But at the end of the day, you know, it could create for an interesting moment. So why not, right? I surreptitiously check to make sure no one is watching. Whatever that word means. Satisfied, I sneak off the path and head straight for the trees. The plump berries are a bright shade of red and my mouth waters at the thought of eating them. I pick a handful and I'm about to put them in my mouth when somebody slaps them right out of my hand. Ow! Look over to see Carrie scowling at me. What'd you do that for?
You can't just shove the first thing you see into your mouth.
That's what she said. Our character knew. Oh man alive, man. Oh, see, I knew that would... See, I did. Obviously, you know, I was thinking that might create for an interesting moment. I fucking called it. It did. Here we go. Oh man.
You have to pay attention. They might be poisonous.
I don't even bother holding back this laugh. Carrie, why would a beautiful garden like this, frequented by all types of people, including children, have poisonous berries? Instead of answering, Carrie points to a sign posted beneath the tree. Danger, do not eat. Oh. Carrie crosses her arms, but wears a satisfied smirk. Now you should post that sign up higher. Who's going to see it that's so close to the ground?
Children. The ones who are most likely to eat things they shouldn't.
Touché. I look at Carrie again and smile. Of course she'd be the one to notice I'm away, as much as she pretends not to care. I'm still surprised by what a big heart she has. Carrie frowns.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I had no idea you cared so much about me. He blinks in surprise, then looks away as her cheeks turn pink.
I don't. I just don't want you to die yet. Not until we've played our last match for the semester.
My smile broadens at her response. That's a strange way to show your affection. Her blush deepens.
Don't be stupid.
Let me show you what affection is. Yeah. You have to be bold. You got to be bold. Let's do it. Our lips lock in a passionate kiss and I scoop her into my embrace. At first, Kaori tenses up in surprise but then quickly melts into the kiss. She slowly pulls away and tries to catch her breath. Her face is bright red, but a broad smile is on her lips. That is how you show affection. She playfully hits my arm, but laughs anyway. We spent some time together before rejoining the group. The tour was very beautiful and I did enjoy the leisurely pace we took around the gardens. Although, I did learn a lot more about plants than I would have ever wanted to know. Once the tour was over, we regrouped back outside the hotel. How did everyone enjoy the tour? May sighs dreamily.
Flowers were so beautiful. I felt like I was walking through a fairy tale. I'm glad you had fun, Mayu. I thought it was really pretty too, but I found the history of the place to be the most interesting part.
Kaori shrugs.
Yeah, it was alright. It reminded me a little bit of home. On the outskirts of town, there was a cute little museum which also included a garden walk. That sounds really nice. It was.
I thought it was good, but I could have used less of all that flower talk.
You aren't the only one.
I thought it was informative.
But enough of that. It's now time for the main event.
Hot springs!
Yay! I cannot wait to soak in that glorious water. Same here.
Mayu grins and even Kaori cracks a smile. We eagerly follow Sho into the hotel where he presents our tickets. We had to wait what felt like a couple of hours at least while they prepared the place. Afterwards, an attendant leads Sho and I to make the mail change. Afterwards, an attendant leads Sho and I to the mail changing room, while another attendant leads the girls away. As is customary, we strip down and rinse ourselves thoroughly before entering the adjoining hot spring. I can feel the difference in temperature as soon as I step out of the room. There are a few other men spread out in the pool. They all look to be young and close to my age. Sho and I slowly wade into the hot spring. I dip my feet in and my toes tingle from the rush of heat. Carefully, I lower the rest of me into the water and instantly relax in the warmth. Sho lets out a contented sigh.
Ah, this is the life.
I nod and close my eyes. I listen to the soft sounds of nature mixed with the low murmur of voices from other patrons. The waters are mostly still, only rippling when someone enters or leaves the spring. The water gently eases out any remaining tension in my muscles, and I let out a deep sigh. Oh, I wish this moment could last forever.
Hey guys.
Akira?
I blink my eyes open at the sound of a familiar voice. Akira has a small towel resting on his head.
Fancy seeing you here.
I was just about to say the same to you. What are you doing here?
We can't stay on campus today, so instead of practicing, my team and I decided to do the next best thing. Heal in the hot springs.
I squint at the other men in the spring. No wonder they all look my age.
That's why everyone looks so familiar.
I'm surprised we didn't recognize you guys. Akira smiles.
We look different without our uniforms. It took me a few minutes before I recognized you two.
In the distance, I hear a high-pitched squeal. Was that the girls?
I think so.
Their spring is right next to ours.
Sho perks up.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonder what they're talking about.
Let's find out.
You mean eavesdrop?
It's not eavesdropping if we're just checking on their well-being.
This can only end poorly. But I'm so comfortable. I don't know. I've seen enough anime to know how this ends. Show laughs.
Lucky for us, we aren't in an anime. We'll be fine.
That doesn't make me feel any more confident about this decision. Akira climbs out the water.
I know a way we can slip in unseen.
How exactly do you know this?
I can't give away my sources.
Sho and I look at each other, then shrug. I might have expected this type of behaviour from Sho, but definitely not Akira. We follow him out of the portal and into the changing room where we each grab towels. Then Akira leads us through an employee entrance and into a tunnelled hallway. The hallway opens up right beside a large rock enclave surrounding the woman's hot spring, which keeps us perfectly out of sight. Right, let me close my window real quick. Oh. There we go. It's very toasty in my room, but I don't want any bugs to get in, especially after yesterday. Can't remember what time it was, but I think it was pretty late in the day, and like there was a bug. It wasn't a fly. I don't know what it was. It was like it was definitely like some sort of flying bug, and it was like resting under my blinds near my window, and I was like, yeah, I don't want like them getting in. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. It didn't look like a bug I recognised, and you know, it could be a wasp, you know, it could be a tick, right? And I don't want to like catch anything, right? So, you know, I have my immune system compromised or whatever. So, you know, as sucky as it is, right? When it gets to a certain point in the day, like, you know, you've got to shut your window so no bugs get in, right? Even though it's hot and I'm sweating, you know, I've got at the end of the day, right? Like I've had my window open for a while. I even had the fan on earlier. Right? I've unfortunately, you know, I've got to do what I've got to do. Anyway, giggles float around us as we peek over the rocks. Just our luck. Valerie, Yuna, Mayu, Kaori, and May are right in front of us. Sho and I share a look as if to slightly ask, "May's here too?" Then we shrug. If Akira's here, it only makes sense that May would be here too.
It's your turn, Valerie. Okay. Truth or dare?
Dare. Okay, truth.
What? No, I picked dare.
Right, truth.
May turns to the rest of the girls.
What should we ask her?
May blushes.
What is it like being with a boy?
Everyone stares at her with wide eyes, and May's face turns even redder.
Why would you ask me that?
Because, you know.
Even Kaori's cheeks are pink, but I can't tell whether it's from the question or the heat of the water. Valerie blinks.
Oh, right, okay. You see...
Ah, so she hasn't been with one. Her voice travels off and my breath catches in my throat. Is this really happening right now? Sho and Akira both focus intently on the conversation.
How do I put this?
She pauses again as she thinks.
Okay, basically, imagine you have a motherboard. On the different sockets, you have to add the different components. So first you put in the CPU, and then the RAM, a graphics card, some sort of storage drive. Oh, and the power supply. You can't forget the power supply. That is what? Supplies power. And once all those pieces are ready, then it's time to make sure all the wires are connected. Some graphics cards require a 6-pin connector while others need an 8-pin. Some also require 2 sets of connectors depending on the power draw requirements. It's also important to pick a good case because you want to make sure everything is well protected but still has strong airflow. Having a strong cooling system is important when things heat up.
As Valerie continues with her explanation, the girls struggle to follow along. May's brows are furrowed, but she nods every so often, listening closely to Valerie's words. Yuna just seems plain confused, although she's trying her best to follow along. Kaori frowns thoughtfully, and I can see... Kaori frowns thoughtfully, I can almost see the gears in her brain trying to piece together the image Valerie is describing. Only May sits with her eyebrow raised and her arms across her chest.
None of this makes sense.
Valerie freezes and looks a little panicked.
What?
May studies Valerie's expression and discomfort. Then she smiles triumphantly, as if she solved the puzzle.
Oh, you've never actually been with.
Valerie laughs loudly over May's voice.
You're so silly, May. What are you even talking about?
Your analogy doesn't describe it at all.
Actually, it does. She's just not using the right words. For instance, if it was me, I'd be like, well, you know how when you've got a PC and you can plug in a hard drive, right? And you can transfer files and stuff. Imagine the files being sperm, right? Like you got to plug a USB stick into the USB slot, right? The USB slot is the woman's body part, and your USB stick or your external storage device is the man's penis, right? That's how I would describe it. I make that type of analogy, right? Or you've got the motherboard, which is the woman's body, right? And then you've got the hard drive, which you plug it into the motherboard, right? Which boots it up. You can't boot up the motherboard unless you've got a storage device, right? The storage device is the man's penis. I think with that's how I would use her analogy. You either make it really simple, you know how when you plug a USB, you plug a USB stick into a USB slot of your laptop or whatever. But imagine your USB stick is your hoo-ha, and the USB stick, imagine the USB slot is your hoo-ha, and a USB stick that goes into that slot is the man's ding dong. Right, that would be one analogy. Or with her one, with the motherboard, right? The motherboard is her hoo-ha, and the storage device that plugs into the motherboard is the guy's ding dong. One of those two, right? Her analogy does make sense. She's just not using the right words to describe it. Carrie crosses her arms.
If she's not right, then what's it supposed to be?
May grins mischievously.
Well, when a man and a woman love each other very much.
Plop. I look over at Sho. He had leaned too far forward and accidentally wobbled an unstable pebble, which rolled into the spring. As one, the girls look over in our direction, then shriek.
Run!
We scramble into the safety of the hallway and head back into the men's changing room.
Do you think they saw us?
They probably saw you. The blood leaves Sho's face.
No! Akira, please, tell me otherwise.
It was pretty dark. Maybe they just saw a silhouette.
For your sake, I hope that's all they saw.
If I fall, I'm dragging you down with me.
You son of a bitch. How dare you betray a bro like that? Me? I was in the men's hot springs the entire time. Isn't that right, Akira?
Of course.
You guys!
See, Akira's a bro. He knows. He knows. Once our pounding hearts subside, we return to the men's hot spring as if nothing happened. As soon as our time was up, we left with the rest of the group. This way, it could have been anyone who disturbed the girls. Akira rejoins his teammates while Sho and I change back into our clothes. We wait for the girls in the hotel lobby, which strangely looks like Ace Academy's hangout spot for pilot students, but whatever. The pilot lounge, but whatever. We agreed to meet here for dinner, right? Sho answers nervously.
Yep.
After 15 minutes, they still haven't emerged. Sho shifts from foot to foot.
Do you think they really saw me there and now they've gone ahead without us?
I shrug. Dinner is held in one room. We'll see them regardless.
True, but you don't think they'd just leave us hanging there, right?
I honestly don't know.
What if this is all part of their plan for revenge? Leave us here waiting while they're all eating delicious food and laughing at us. Or maybe they've retired to one of their hotel rooms, dressed in their PJs, continuing their conversation.
I'm just going to stop you right there.
But I was just getting to the good part.
That's a pretty lame revenge as far as revenges go, though.
I suppose that's true.
We wait a while longer before the girls finally appear. Carrie glowers at us as she marches over. Valerie and Yuna both look grave, and even Mayu looks stern. Sho leans over to me.
God, they know. Should we just tell them?
Keep cool. The girls finally pause in front of us. Are you okay? Carrie glares at the two of us and crosses her arms.
Of course not. We are surrounded by perverts.
Joe's eyes widen in panic, and even I'm beginning to feel anxious. I was just teasing him before, but maybe they really did see us. It was all Joe's fault. Come clean. I don't know. We've already got Sho back, right? I feel like we got him back with his brother, and then after that, I don't know, man. My memory's terrible. I feel like we got him back after that as well, or maybe that was like double time. That was like, you know, us getting one up on him. We got even with him with his brother. Then we got one up on him. I feel like we did. I can't quite remember what it was. I'm trying to remember, but I can't think. Oh, I don't remember. No, I honestly don't remember. I feel like something did happen after, like an opportunity arose. I'd have to go back and watch. So I feel like we've already got Sho. But my point is, we've already got Sho back. I feel like twice now. Once with what he did to us at the beach, and there's another time where I feel like an opportunity arose. I feel like, I don't know if sure, but I feel like an opportunity arose, and we took advantage of it to get one over on him. We got even with him before, but then we got one over. We got one over on him, so we have like we know, you know, it's like 2-1 to us. We got it. We've made it 1-1 with what we did with his brother, and we made it 2-1 with something else that happened. So I feel like this would just be overkill. Plus, we were there as well. So, and you know, obviously, you know, we come clean, right? It's no, you know, it's no big deal. You know, when what's done is done. You know. Fuck, I'm just gonna come clean. I've got no shame about what I did. We're really sorry.
Joseph.
The girls look at each other in surprise, but Carrie narrows her eyes.
I had a feeling it was you two.
I mean, I could have just taken the blame myself, but whatever.
Hey, don't drag me into this. This is all Broseph's idea.
Don't listen to him. Of course it was his idea.
Please. This type of thing just screams Sho.
So you believe me?
I believe that Sho was involved.
Hey, Broseph could have acted alone.
Nope.
Not likely. I don't think so. Nuh-uh.
Nah. Mary shakes her head. None of the girls even hesitate before answering.
Wow. Even you, Mayu?
She looks away.
Sorry. I can't believe you pers were spying on us. What were you hoping to see?
Tits.
Nothing?
Valerie gives him a blank look.
I mean, we weren't spying. We were eavesdropping.
I wouldn't say that so proudly.
How is that better?
Dare I ask why?
We heard someone shriek and wanted to make sure nobody was hurt. Mayu looks alarmed and then she blushes deeply. Valerie bursts out laughing. Yuna hides a smile, and even Kaori looks amused. That's a weird reaction. What happened exactly?
A spider crawled on Mayu. Loping!
Mayu freezes after her outburst. Sho and I exchange a look.
Sorry to have troubled you.
We're just glad that you're okay.
Mayu smiles weakly.
Thanks for your concern.
No problem. Kaori crosses her arms.
You're not going to get off the hook that easily.
We're sorry, but we were genuinely concerned. I didn't know about that. Obviously, we heard a shrieking, but I feel like we just all saw that as an opportunity to maybe get a show. But maybe that was one of the motivations behind it. It wasn't for me. I just tagged along, right? It wasn't my idea. I just tagged along. You know, I was just along for the ride, right? Doesn't absolve me of any guilt or wrongdoing, but I was just along for the ride, right? I wasn't the one driving the car, so to speak. But apparently that was one of the motivations, so whatever.
Yeah, if you didn't want us over there, you shouldn't have screamed.
Wasn't for me, but whatever. Sho, please.
What? It's true.
Let's just accept their apology and move forward.
What?
Yuna sighs.
Clearly it was a misunderstanding, and I'm sure the boys have learned their lesson, right?
Right.
Sure, why not?
There's no point in going back and forth anymore, and there's nothing else to say about the matter.
Kaori scolds but reluctantly agrees.
Fine. But if I catch you guys doing something like that again, I'm going to make you regret you were born.
Yes, ma'am.
We promise we won't do it again. Anytime soon.
Since that's all settled, does that mean we can finally go eat?
Kaori sighs.
Yes, we can go eat.
Finally! I thought my stomach was going to eat itself.
You're so dramatic.
I'm pretty hungry too, actually.
So am I.
Let's go then.
Yuna leads the way as the team continues to tease Sho. The tension from before dissipates as everyone speculates about tonight's meal. Sorry about that, I was just cleaning my glasses. This didn't go as bad as I thought it would. I'm just glad it's behind us now. When we arrive at the dining hall, we settle down at our table. The hotel offers a fix A menu. So all we had to do was confirm our number of dinners, then the waitress put in the orders for our meals. Whatever happened to May?
She didn't want to stay after the incident, so she went to find her teammates.
Did she ever finish explaining?
None of your business!
All of the girls' faces are bright red, even Valerie's. I wonder if that means she did finish. Soon, the food arrives. It's a simple tray of rice, fish, and pickled vegetables. We cry it down as we all dig in. I didn't realise how hungry I was until now. I feel a buzz in my pocket. And to pull out my phone, I notice all of my teammates are checking their phones too. There's a group email from Dashu. They're reminding us about our coaching session that was scheduled for tomorrow. It seems they have received confirmation that Coach Ivan will be on campus to give us a few pointers before our match on Thursday. Yuna wears a broad grin.
Did you all get that email?
Yeah.
I'm so glad Coach Ivan will be on campus. Me too. Oh, he's one of my idols.
Really?
Of course. He's a working legend.
Oh, come on, I've never heard of him before.
He's almost as famous as the Akamis.
Sho looks thoughtful.
Actually, Mayu, doesn't your family know him?
Yes, but not very well. They respect each other, of course, but aren't close friends. That's why I've never met him.
I'm looking forward to what he can teach this team. There's a reason why he's won 3 championships and received the MVP award twice.
Wow, this guy sounds impressive.
I heard no matter where he goes, he always wears his signature helmet.
Bad if he's heard of him too.
Huh, I've heard that too.
Wonder if he'll wear it tomorrow.
Probably.
The team continues to talk excitedly about tomorrow's training session. I soak in each story or rumour the team shares about him. The more I hear about him, the more enthusiastic I feel about meeting him. After we finish our meals, I want to take another dip in the hot... After we finish our meals, I want to take another dip into the hot spring. After all, my first session was kind of interrupted. Sho happily agrees, but the girls firmly refuse. They say their good nights and retire to their rooms. Sho and I relax in the hot water until we're both stifled in yawns. Then we decide to return to our rooms as well. After all, we have an early morning train to catch. I'm exhausted and collapse onto my bed. As soon as my head hits the pillow, I fall asleep. I'm woken up at the crack of dawn by the most irritating clucking noises. Apparently Sho's alarm is of a rooster crowing. Bruh, why? After unceremoniously stifling yawns and getting dressed, I make a quick sweep of the room to make sure I packed all of my things. Sho had to make 2 sweeps because he kept yawning during his first and forgetting where he'd already looked. We're all silent as we meet in the lobby. May and Kaori are both wide awake and as perky as either of them could ever be. Yuna and Valerie seem even more exhausted than Sho and I. I wonder what was going on in their room. Before my mind can wander too far, I snap back to reality and glance at guiltily Kaori, who has her eyes narrowed. Can she read my thoughts now too? Good thing I wasn't thinking about anything perverted. Yet. Still in silence, we make our way to the train station. The train ride home feels even longer than the ride to the hot springs. I resist the urge to ask, are we there yet? After what feels like an eternity, we arrive at Izakaze. Finally! Napping on the uncomfortable train was nearly impossible and my thoughts kept drifting off to my warm bed. I say a quick goodbye to everyone and practically speed home. As soon as I arrive, I make a beeline for my room and collapse onto my bed. Bright sunlight shines on my face and I slowly blink my eyes open. Then I jolt upright in bed. What time is it? Did I miss the coaching session? I fumble around looking for my clock, but it's only 11 AM. Coach Ivan won't arrive until mid-afternoon. I have plenty of time. In that case, I wonder if anyone is free. My own show. Ah, damn it. I'm gonna have to go back and redo the hot springs. for the fun now, obviously. Not for anything else. And I mean that. Like, no, I'm not going to go into detail, but obviously I play VN, so I don't you know. If I've got material, alright? Like, I don't need to... I don't need to go back to that, to go back to it for that reason, you know? Yeah, let's do show. Just decide what I want to do. I get a phone call from Sho. What's up, Brosif?
No.
Jeez. Pull the phone away from my ear. What do you mean, no?
You can't call me Brosif. Brosif is your name, Brosif.
Okay. What's up?
What are you doing this fine evening?
I don't have any specific plans.
Excellent. I'll meet you at the Izokaze Park.
What? What's going on in the park?
You'll see. See you in a few.
He hangs up before I can pry for more. Well, whatever it is, if Sho's excited, then it has got to be fun. I hop on my bike and drive to the park. Tantalising scents of food waft across the street, enticing passers-by. As I search for a parking space, the park is illuminated with hanging lanterns and packed full of stalls. Is this some type of festival? Joe lingers on the outskirts of the park and runs over to me.
There you are, Brosif.
What's all this?
It's a festival, of course.
Yeah, but which one? He looks incredulous.
Jeez, you don't know?
No. Should I?
Of course. Everyone knows it's the Festival of Dongos.
You have no idea, do you? Whoopsie. You have no idea, do you?
I just told you. They sell all kinds of dongo here.
But why is there even a festival where they can sell dongo? He blinks.
Does it matter? Now come on.
Wait, aren't we going to wait for the others? Joe scratches the back of his head.
This might just be a two-man operation.
Wouldn't you prefer going with, you know, Mayu?
You're joking, right? It's reading week. She has me constantly studying and studying only. It's like being on house arrest, man. I barely managed to escape.
He waves his arms around for emphasis. I mean, what she's doing isn't necessarily bad.
I know. But sometimes it's good to just recharge the mental battery, you know? I figured the others would get on my case, but I can trust you, Brosif.
Sounds more like you'd thought I wouldn't be studying.
Was I wrong?
I wouldn't say that. He grins.
Then let's get started. The Adventures of Brosif and Show.
I mean, obviously I could have said, you know, I have a girlfriend, but I feel like that would be... I think maybe I didn't choose option because it would be selfish to say. You know, I don't feel like I'm wrong. Like, you know, I think a better option would be, you know, we've both got girlfriends. You know, shouldn't we ask them to come along? If they say no, then fair enough. It's just the two of us. But to be fair, I feel like if I've got a friend I'm really close to, right? You know, and, you know, they're spending all their time with their missus, which is understandable and fair enough. But, you know, there would definitely be times when I'm like, you know, I want to hang out. And they're like, yeah, sure. But things like, you know, but my missus, you know, so and so wanted to come along. I'm like, oh, come on, man. I thought it'd just be the two of us, you know, to hang out, you know. But with her there, you know, you know, there might be certain things I want to talk about, but I can't now, you know. It's like, oh, you know, I can ask her to come if you don't want me to. If you don't, you know, if you want me to. It's like, yeah, you can, but then I don't want to feel like an arsehole, you know. I mean, I feel like I'd feel like that, you know. So I do feel, you know, bad, you know, especially when she explains it like that, right? Like, you know, she's been all over me, and it's nice to, you know, to hang out, you know, just the two of us, right? And, you know, I also want to recharge my batteries, right? Because sometimes you need that, right? You need to get away from your other half, you know. As much as you might love them and care for them, sometimes you need your space, you know. And, you know, me and Joe have been so busy with the team and hanging out with our other halves and stuff, right, that we haven't really had a chance to hang out just the two of us in a while. Especially after I made the choice sometimes to not hang out with him because I was like, no, after what we did on the beach. But, you know, now that we're past all of that, you know. I nod. Joe seems to be in an extra good mood. We enter another throng of people and browse at different stalls. This area sells all sorts of crafts and clothing. A small doll dressed in a kitted kimono catches my attention. I stop Show and inspect it further. The wooden doll has hair as black as night and a dainty face with blushing cheeks and red lips. Maybe Carrie would like this. Yeah, why not? How much for this? The vendor names his price and I pay it. Show cautiously watches the transaction.
Interesting choice. Is that a new thing you're into?
No, it's a souvenir for my girlfriend. Joe's eyes go wide.
What? You can't go buying souvenirs?
Why not?
Because now I'll have to buy one too.
Sure, you can get one too.
Oh, not this. I can't get the same one as you. She might find out and then she'd be upset.
Why? What if they happen to both like it? I don't think she'd care. It's the thought that counts. Okay, then we'll look for something else.
Ready for some food?
Always.
That's what I like to hear.
We move away from the craft area and straight into the sea of small eats. Sho can't decide on what to order, so ends up ordering one of each item. His arms are full of more dongo than one man can eat. I manage to stop him before he applies the same tactic to each vendor and convince him to eat what we have first. We sit down along the edge of the park at the picnic tables. As we settle in, a set of twins approaches us.
Hey boys, are these seats taken?
The way she says that as well. Either she's taking the piss and she's just messing with us, or this could be trouble. Although their faces are nearly identical, one girl has thick, straight hair which flows into a glossy waterfall down her back and ends right above her ample bottom. The second girl plays with her curls and lets them bounce between her full bosom. They flash us smiles, revealing cute dimples, then sit across from us and set down their drinks.
It's really nice of you to save us seats.
They seem to be around our age. Oh, thank God. I thought it was those two that our sister hangs out with. The girl looks at Sho with interest as they play with the straw in their drinks.
You go to Ace?
Considering Ace is the only university around here, it's not an unusual guess. He seems dazed. Yes, he's in the pilot program.
Pilots?
Sho nods, still as confused as before. He shoots me questioning glances if unsure whether or not this is actually happening. He is so out of his element. The girls look at each other and giggle.
What are you doing after the festival?
Would you like to hang out? Sho's eyes widen and he looks at me in astonishment. It looks like he's about to agree when he quickly shakes his head.
Actually, we have plans with our girlfriends.
Yeah, it's a good boy. There we go. He came to his senses. There we go. We would have done the same thing, hopefully. No, we would have done, like I said earlier, we would have done the same thing. You know, we can't be doing that, right? It wouldn't be right. Plus, it feel awkward going into the Carrie after story, right? If we've been unfaithful to her in some way.
Aww, really?
Sho nods, although more reluctantly this time.
Both of you are already taken? Oh well.
Shrugging, she scribbles something on a napkin and tucks it into Sho's hands. Her fingers lingers on Sho as she leans in close and speaks in a breathy voice.
Well, if you guys ever want to hang out, I'm sure we'll be available.
Then slowly return to their feet and purposely give us an eyeful of their chest. As they walk away, they exaggerate the hypnotic sway of their hips.
What just happened?
The magic of not being single. You don't know? Sho looks at me with intrigue. You're forbidden fruit now, Mr. Shinjuru. He blinks.
Huh? What do you mean?
Now that you're spoken for, get ready for a lot more attention from girls, my friend.
That doesn't make any sense. How would they know I already have a girlfriend? We just met.
They've got a secret sense for these things. You know how women are. Sho nods.
They have a lot of secret senses.
I remember reading that once during a relationship. You carry yourself with more confidence. You don't appear desperate or needy, which makes you more appealing. But who wants to talk about that psychological mumbo jumbo?
I think that was a fluke.
That does actually make kind of sense, to be fair, in real life. When you've got somebody, especially if you're faithful, right? You're not a sleazeball. You're not going to be desperate going after girls, and obviously they pick up on that, right? Oh, that person seems nice. So, oh wait, you're taken? Are you kidding me? You know, it's like that's why you're showing. That's why you're not like lusting over all of these women, because you've got no need to. And obviously they like that, and they want to be with a guy who isn't just a complete pervert and a sleazeball. But obviously, you're taken. So, it's like, oh, it sucks for them, but it also, in a sense, it sucks for you, right? But not in a bad way. Like, it sucks because it's like, oh, wait, no, when I was alone, no woman wanted me, but I finally got somebody. All these women suddenly are interested, right? That's how it sucks. But at the same time, it doesn't suck because you've got someone who's, invested in you, hopefully. A fluke?
Yeah, I've tried so hard to get a girl's number before and met with a 0% success rate. This was just a random outlier.
So what you're saying is you tried so hard, but in the end it didn't even matter?
You don't sound convinced.
You're not wrong.
Okay, here, watch.
Now watch your show stands. He spots another girl around our age waiting in line to get some food and approaches her. They chat for a while. When the girl pulls out her phone, Sho looks shocked. He furiously shakes his head and retreats back to me as the girl sadly looks on. What was that all about?
I tried to get her number, and then she was about to give it to me? What is happening? The younger me would have killed for this power. This power that I cannot use!
I pat Sho on the back. I don't know what to tell you, man. Sho sinks into his chair and sniffles. I never thought I'd see the day when Sho would be sad that girls are into him. We spend the rest of the evening checking out the festival and fending off single girls, much to Sho's anguish. Once we've seen everything there is to see, we go our separate ways and I head home. It's about time for our session with Coach Ivan. I double check my email, then make my way to the pre-combat room. That's where we're supposed to meet him. As I walk in, I see the rest of my team crowded around the holo table.
I can't believe he sent all this. This is incredible.
Ugh. Bloody hell. Okay.
I can't believe he sent all this. This is incredible.
Una grins.
Yep, this consultation isn't just for the pilots. It's for everyone on the team.
Valerie scrolls through the projected hologram, pausing at an image of a gear loaded with statistics. As I approach, I can make out what looks like the game plans of previous professional matches, complete with sketches, tactics, movements, and calls. Sort of edit information is incredibly valuable for all parties on the team. Sho is the first to notice me.
Broseph!
Once he sounds my arrival, the rest of my team grin or wave at me. Hey guys. Sho puts an arm around my shoulder.
Are you ready to meet Ivan?
You know it. There's nothing left to do but wait for Ivan to arrive. Valerie and Mayu continue to scroll through the holotable, while the rest of us take seats on the couches lining the walls.
What do you guys think Coach Ivan is like?
Is Carrie nervous? She keeps a cool facade, but her gaze constantly darts towards the door.
I heard he's the shot caller on his team. He's the one leading the tactics and pulling in the high numbers.
He's even received the MVP award twice already.
I remember they'd mentioned that yesterday as well. I racked my brain trying to understand why I hadn't heard of him before. The only player I remember who won 2 MVP awards on the national stage is Strong Arm Gear.
Right. That's his alias for the global stage.
I always thought it was a little strange that he never even took off his helmet for interviews. He doesn't need to. He doesn't even speak in interviews.
Carrie nods. What?
That's his persona, and it's worked really well for him.
Hearing all this just makes me even more curious about what kind of person Coach Ivan is.
Wait, how is he going to coach us? Does he even know how to talk?
Don't be stupid, Sho. Of course he can talk.
I don't know, maybe he's a mute. You don't know. Carrie blinks.
I think.
Actually, I've heard rumors that his face was half burnt during a racing motorcycle accident. That's why he always wears a helmet.
Oh, sorry.
I think I remember reading that too.
Ouch. I cringe just remembering the rare couple of times I fell off my bike. I don't even want to imagine how painful it would be to fall off my bike while racing.
What if he's scary? I've heard he yells at first-year pilots, or worse.
May's eyes widen.
What?
Here we go. Valerie pats May sympathetically on the back.
It was nice knowing you. No, but why?
Her eyes well up with tears.
Stop being mean, Valerie.
Don't listen to Valerie. She's just teasing.
Valerie smirks.
Or am I?
The door slides open, catching all of our attention. A muscular man, well over 6 feet tall, commands the room. He's wearing a leather jacket with black pants. A polished helmet hides his face. He crosses the room with thunderous steps and pauses before us, as large and silent as a mountain. The group glances nervously at each other. Nobody wants to break the silence. Hello. His helmet slowly turns towards me, and I fidget beneath his gaze. I can't see his eyes, which makes this all the more disconcerting. After a moment, his helmet surveys the rest of the team. Kaori remains stoic while May tries to make herself small. Both Yuna and Valerie look uncertain while Sho seems confused about how we should feel. Coach Ivan nods. He puts his hands on either side of his helmet. Sho catches my eyes in anticipation. Are we actually going to see what's underneath the helmet? Oh, it's Mario or Luigi. Coach Ivan pulls it off in one sweeping motion, revealing a shiny bald head and the most beautiful moustache I've ever seen. Underneath his moustache is a beaming smile.
A glorious day to make your acquaintance.
What? His jacket has somehow unzipped itself and reveals washboard abs I can only achieve in my dreams.
Under the wings of experience, I shall teach you to soar the skies.
Kaori's face falls. She looks like her nightmare has come to life. The rest of the girls are mirrors of confusion. Sho, on the other hand, looks as if his dreams have come true.
Do you know someone named Tatsuo by any chance?
Ivan looks at Sho. Even with his smile, his piercing gaze unsets him and Sho scoots back.
You speak of my nephew?
Oh, suddenly it all makes sense. Everything, the stars align. It all makes sense now.
That explains a lot.
Yep, there we go. Yuna stands up.
Hi, Mr. Podubny. Thank you for agreeing to coach our team this afternoon.
Utter not my family name, for formalities between friends must not exist.
Oh, okay. Ivan, thank you.
He nods.
Of course.
Oh.
Of course. We will begin with lesson 1. To sprout into a magnificent tree, we must first water the roots.
The foundations?
Yes, fiery flower. The
Ugh.
roots.
Keep yawning. So tired. Ivan motions us to the holograph. We cautiously approach and Ivan projects an image of a seed.
First, the seed requires sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, and rich soil. The key to remember is the symbiotic relationship between plant and environment. Through light energy absorbed by chlorophyll, conversion occurs of carbon dioxide and water to create glucose and oxygen.
Have I fallen asleep and started dreaming I'm in class again?
Jeez, this is like listening to Valerie explain.
Wham.
Did you say something?
Careful, Sho.
Of course not. Nothing at all.
Good.
Right.
Good.
Valerie turns back to the holograph. Sho looks at me.
I think she's been hanging around Kaori for too long.
Wham.
Did you say something?
No!
No! You dare question the wondrous feat of photosynthesis?
Ivan stalks up to Sho and stares him down. His moustache droops in disappointment.
No? I mean, yes! Yes, that it's wondrous! Please, don't hurt me!
Ivan stares suspiciously at Sho before resuming his lecture. We try to follow the best we can as he continues to talk. After finishing his lecture on plant science, he looks at all of us.
Understood?
He is met with silence. Ivan uses his fingers to elongate his moustache in great thought.
Demonstration will triumph explanation.
Yes, please.
Ivan nods solemnly.
Make haste to the simulations.
As soon as we enter the simulation, Ivan sets us up to spar with AI gears. Once the match is over, He points out where we lost focus or how we could have prevented getting hit, then gives us suggestions on how to tighten up as a unit. Once he's shared his insight, he sends us back in for another round. While we fire the AIs, Ivan and Valerie talk quietly about simple fixes to our gears. He seems pleased by what Valerie shares with him. I assume she mentioned the original tweaks she added to our gears when she first joined the team. The more Valerie talks, the more animated Ivan becomes. Yuna watches everyone closely and jots down notes in her tablet. I have a feeling she's recording feedback on our session with Coach Ivan as well as recording feedback from our simulated matches. Based on just the brief notes Ivan provided on our first match, our second match felt worlds apart from the first. It's quite apparent why he won 2 MVP awards. He truly lives up to his title of Strong Arm Gear. So long as you can decipher what he says. We exit the simulator feeling satisfied and more confident than ever before. Ivan greets us by the holotable.
And so the dial of time lands for my departure.
Thank you so much, Mr.
His icy gaze falls on the show.
I mean, thanks, Ivan.
Ivan smiles.
We appreciate your time. And all this data analysis will help me fine-tune the gears to give them that extra boost.
We can't lose after a training session like that.
Ivan begins to sniffle.
Is something wrong?
He rubbed his eyes with his forearm.
You guys.
Suddenly Ivan scoops all of us into a group hug.
Make me so proud.
He squeezes us so tightly I gasp for air. Show mouths help me while trying to wriggle free. Mayu looks terrified as she's squished into Yuna's chest. Valerie tries to hug Ivan's arm, while Kara looks like a deer in headlights and struggles to break free. Ivan doesn't notice.
Hey!
After one last squeeze, he releases us and lets out a deep sigh.
And so the nest perch on the branch finds its awakening. Go forth, hatchlings!
His helmet magically materializes in his hand. He puts it on and zips up his jacket, then offers us a final thumbs up. We wave goodbye as he heads out, calling out our thanks to his retreat in form.
Man, I am so pumped for our match tomorrow.
Me too. Should we get some practice in while we can?
Carrie shakes her head.
I think Valerie needs to make the recommended calibrations first.
Yep. They aren't major control changes or anything, so you won't feel a difference while piloting. You'll just get better energy efficiency based on piloting patterns Ivan pointed out.
Carrie nods.
That's exactly what we need.
Ah, okay. So, what do we do until then?
It is reading week.
No, don't say it. No! No!
Carrie covers her ears.
Idiot! What's wrong with you?
Anything but that.
So,
Mayu interlocks her arm with Shows.
it won't be that bad, I promise.
I tell you what, for every answer you get right, I'll remove a piece of clothing. Where's the door? Show glances at Mayu, smiled, and his own face lights up.
Okay.
Oh, maybe he's had that thought himself.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Mayu smiles, and the two of them are off.
You're all good then, Valerie?
Yep, I'll send a text when I'm done.
Okay, thank you. I'd better get to studying too.
Carrie locks eyes with me.
I'll see you later.
It sounds like less of a suggestion and more of a statement. My cheeks turn pink. I nod and watch her head off.
Well, since I'm already on campus, I'll go submit my report on the coaching session.
I wave goodbye. Do you want some company?
No, it's okay. I'll be doing some boring stuff anyway, and I'm not a fan of over-the-shoulder spectators.
I nod. Alright, let me know if you need anything.
Sure.
With some time on my hands, I head to the library to actually squeeze in a study session. The library is packed, which I guess makes sense since exams are right around the corner. After circling the desks a couple times, I managed to sneak into a desk stall just as another student is leaving. I feel like a car trying to find a parking spot in a crowded lot. A few hours go by in a blur. Valerie texts at one point saying the changes are done. But otherwise, nothing eventful happens. That's all the siding I can do in one sitting. I pack up my tablet and wonder if anyone's available. Well, of course we'll go with Carrie. You know, she is the one we're with after all. And, you know, invest as much in her as possible. Just something about dial Carrie's number. She calls me instead. I answer. Hey.
Hi. Are you busy?
She said we'll see her later, and we accounted for it was more of a statement than like a suggestion or whatever. So, plus, like I said, we want to invest in her, you know, as much as possible because you know we're going directly into her spin-off game. Not particularly. What's up?
Did you want to come to the gym with me? I'm going to try a new routine and would like to have a spotter.
Yeah, sure thing. The gym in the rec center?
Yes, thanks.
No problem. See you there. Maybe I can wait till the rec center and quickly get changed. Once I'm done, I enter the gym. Carrie is in her gym uniform and I stifle a laugh. I thought I'd be used to it by now, but I'm not. Hey Carrie. She nods.
Hi. Thanks for agreeing to help.
No problem. I was going to get a workout in anyway. So what's this new routine you have planned? She hands me her phone, I scroll through.
I've mainly been doing endurance training and would like to incorporate more mass building.
Why would you want to gain mass as a girl? I feel like if we said that, we'll just get our ears chewed off. So I don't think that's the best thing to say. Plus, I doubt she's looking to like bulk up to like look super muscular. She just wants to, you know, get a little bit of definition, right? There's nothing wrong with that. For me, don't get wrong. For me personally, right, this is just personal preference. I'm not a big fan of, you know, muscular women, but a little bit of definition isn't wrong. It isn't bad. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Any reason for the new routine? Carrie shakes her head.
Not particularly. My routine was just getting a bit too repetitive, and this will be a nice change of pace.
Fair enough. Are you ready to start then? She nods and we find an empty bench. She begins gathering weights and adds them to the bar. And keeps adding weights. Her jaw drops as she adds 100 pounds to the bar. Is petite girl for real? Carrie lies down on the bench and I stand by her head. She adjusts her grip and focuses her breathing. Then lifts the bar off and begins her reps. Although I knew Carrie took her fitness seriously, I'm still impressed. She's attracted a few more onlookers too, so I'm not the only one impressed. With one final exhale, she places the bar back on the bench.
Alright, warm-ups are done.
Those were just warm-ups? She adds another 20 pounds to her weights and repeats her reps. After she's completed her sets, she slides out from the bench and wipes her face with a towel. Jeez, how much of her weight is just muscle? Benching more than your body weight is very impressive.
Thanks.
Suddenly her face turns pink and she hits me on the arm.
Hey, don't try to guess my weight.
Like grin, guilty as charged.
Okay, your turn now.
I mainly do cardio at the gym to stay fit and only occasionally do endurance training. I don't think I can bench much more than her. How do I want to play this? Go with this safe 100 pounds higher reps. I don't know why I said it like that. Let's push it up to 140 pounds. Beast mode activation. 200 pounds. Why not? Let's make a fool of ourselves. It's time to man up. I had a bunch of weights and soon I'm at 200 pounds. Carrie looks skeptical.
Are you sure about this?
Let me show you how a man handles these weights. I slide under the bench and grab the bar. As soon as I lift it off the bench, the bar drops lower and lower and I can't seem to push it back up to the bench. Oh crap. I think I need some help.
Is this what a man looks like when he's handling weights?
Carrie looks amused as I struggle to keep the bar from squishing me. Right before it touches my chest, she intervenes and helps me lift it back up. My face burns from a mixture of embarrassment and exertion.
Very impressive.
She marks a giggle with her hand. Laugh it up. We run through the rest of her routine, one exercise after another. She times her rest periods down to the second, and diligently follows the mantra of one more rep. I follow her routine as well. It's definitely more challenging than the typical stuff I do at the gym. Once we've completed her list, Carrie turns to me.
Do you have any specific exercises you want to do?
I shake my head. Nah, that was a solid workout. Carrie nods. She gathers the weights and places them back where she found them, then wipes down the equipment.
Come on.
I follow Carrie towards the mats. What are we doing now?
Stretching.
Oh,
You don't want to be stiff, right?
right. Carrie loosens up and shakes out her limbs, then begins with basic stretches as I follow suit. As she interlaces her arms together, she glances over at me.
Actually, do you think you can help me stretch? I can help you too. Here. Pull on my arms.
I move behind her and gently pull her arms back. Is this good?
Mm-hmm.
As I hold her in position, I look up at the mirror in front of us and straight at Carrie's chest. I quickly look away, with her arms pulled back like that leaves her chest wide open. Thankfully, her eyes are closed so she can focus on her breathing.
Next, stretch.
I drop Carrie's arms. She gets down on the mat and lies down on her stomach.
Hold me under the knee and help me lift my leg up.
I have never been more thankful to the person who created Japanese gym uniforms. I admire the perfect roundness of her derriere and the slight jiggle as she lifts her leg.
Hey, did you hear me?
Huh? Oh, right. I kneel down beside her and do as she asks, gently holding her leg up.
Wait, I need support for my lower back. Can you put your hand there?
You don't have to ask me twice. I rest my hand on her lower back, right above the curve of her butt, and lift again. Too much? She shakes her head.
No, a little more.
As I lift the leg higher, the uniform bottom rides up, revealing firm porcelain fresh. I avert my gaze and my heart beats faster. Do I tell her or just pretend I don't see this?
Okay, your turn.
I let out a breath I didn't realise I was holding as Carrie untangles herself from her position. I'm good. We can continue with your stretches. She shrugs, then lies down on her back and lifts one leg.
Can you push my leg forward?
I hover over her and hold her up by her calf to gently apply pressure.
No, you have to be lower. I need your support for my leg.
Lower where?
Kneel down and push that way.
I do as she asks, and she holds her leg straight against my shoulder.
More.
I lean in, using my body to help keep her leg straight.
Still more.
Scooting even closer to her, I gently lean in a little more. The back of my neck tingles and I look around the room as the myriad of eyes are on me. After glancing in the mirror, I quickly break away from her. From that angle it looks like my face reddens. Carrie bolts straight up and frowns.
Why'd you stop?
Explain why. Why did I stop? Let's keep going. Innocence is bliss. No, I'll be honest. I think that's enough stretching for now. She looks curiously at me.
What's going on?
Well, it's a little uncomfortable.
No, the pressure was okay. I've been working on my flexibility, so a little burn is good.
No, I mean for me.
Huh?
You seriously don't see it?
See what?
Alright, go back. We get back into the same position. I gesture towards the mirror. What does that look like to you? There it is. She looks blankly at the mirror, then her eyes grow wide as her face turns bright red. She scoots away from me.
I think that's enough stretching for today.
Right. We put the mats away and head towards the locker rooms. Right before we split to get changed, she grabs my hand and looks down.
Thanks for helping me today. You did really well.
I'm glad you asked me to join you.
We should do this again.
Definitely. She hesitates. Then her cheeks turn pink as she quickly kisses me on the lips.
I'll see you in a few minutes.
Before I can answer, she disappears into the woman's locker room. A smile spreads across my face as I enter the men's locker room. We'll definitely have to do this again soon. I quickly get changed, then meet Carrie out front.
So, there was something I wanted to ask you.
What's up?
AnimeCon is this weekend, and I was thinking maybe we could go together. But only if you want to.
I grin. Sure, that sounds like fun.
Really? Okay.
Carrie smiles. She seems genuinely excited for it.
I better get back to studying.
I nod. I'll see you later. She waves, a small smile still on her lips as we part ways. After parking my bike, I let myself into the house. The living room is empty. Where is everybody? I hear voices in the kitchen and hurry over. I pause as soon as I push open the doors. Nikki is bent over the table laughing. Aunt Yuki stands by the fridge laughing as hard as Nikki, while Uncle Kato chugs water, looks increasingly confused. Oh, hi Aunt Yuki. I didn't know you were here. Aunt Yuki tries to compose herself when she sees me and rushes over to give me a hug.
Oh good, you're home. Oops, I got some flour on you.
That's okay. Uncle Kato's eyes are watering as he lunges towards the fridge and pulls out a carton of milk. Are you okay, Uncle Kato? He doesn't answer as he chugs a fresh glass of milk. Nikki finally composes herself enough to answer.
Aunt Yuki's making us Chinese food tonight. She ran one of the chilies around the rim of Uncle Kaito's glass when he wasn't looking.
She starts laughing again.
It doesn't hit you at first. Once it does.
Uncle Kato takes another swig of milk until Aunt Yuki giggles. Sorry. Uncle Kato takes another swig of milk while Aunt Yuki giggles.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
The laughter is infectious and I find myself laughing with them. It's good to see Aunt Yuki hasn't lost her sense of humour. Uncle Kato, hasn't Aunt Yuki played the same prank on you before?
She has. That's what makes it so funny.
It's been a while. Cut me some slack.
You're losing your touch.
Aunt Yuki's been away for too long.
Nikki
Do
sighs.
you really have to leave again, Aunt Yuki? It's so fun when you're around.
Hey, are you saying I'm not fun?
No, you're fun too.
That sounded awfully like a pity compliment.
Nikki giggles. Aunt Yuki fidgets with the corner of her apron.
Actually, you'll all be seeing a lot more of me.
Kato looks at her in surprise.
Really?
She meets his gaze and nods.
If that's all right with you.
Of course. I just... Does that mean you're really going to stay here?
Yeah. Unless there's a reason why I shouldn't.
No, but...
Kato hesitates. Nikki watches with bated breath. Her eyes are wide with excitement, and I can tell it's taken a lot of self-control for her to keep quiet. I'm unsure if I should even be witnessing this conversation. Aunt Yuki seems to understand Uncle Kato's unspoken question.
Watching you with the kids, you've, changed.
Yuki,
Nikki can't hold it in anymore and explodes.
Aunt Yuki belongs here, Uncle Kaito. Let her stay.
Both Yuki and Kato blush deeply. Nikki!
What? They clearly need my help.
Let's give them some privacy. I begin to push her out of the room.
What?
No buts. I cannot lie. The other just can't. Oh man, alive. Reluctantly, Nikki allows me to lead her out of the kitchen and into the living room. We both sit on the couch and I turn on the TV.
Do you think Aunt Yuki will really stay?
Hope so, but I'm not sure.
That's exactly why they need my help.
This is something they need to work out themselves.
But they need someone to remind them of how good they are together.
If it's meant to be, then it will be. Nikki gives me a skeptical look.
Which magazine did you read that in?
Oh, shut up. How'd you know I didn't come up with that myself? She chuckles.
Please, I wasn't born yesterday.
Let it be, let it be, let it be. Oh. We wait in silence. Every so often Nikki would sneak glances at the door, but she doesn't move. I can't ignore the delicious smell of Kung Pao chicken wafting out of the kitchen and my stomach grumbles loudly. Kind of wish they were having this conversation after we'd already eaten. Nikki giggles.
Are you ever not hungry?
Her eyes widen as her stomach grumbles just as loudly. Now it's my turn to laugh. Luckily, we don't have to wait much longer before Aunt Yuki pops her head out.
Are you kids hungry yet?
Starving.
Then I guess we better feed you. Dinner's ready.
Feed me more. I've jumped to my feet and race into the kitchen, but Nikki lingers beside Aunt Yuki.
Does this mean you're staying?
Of course I'm staying. There's no way I'm going to let Kato keep you kids to himself.
Nikki grins from ear to ear and hugs Yuki tightly.
So happy! There will finally be another woman in the house!
Aunt Yuki laughs as the two of them join us at the table.
I don't know how you managed all by yourself.
Me neither.
Oh, shut up, two of you. Everyone is all smiles as we sit down to eat. After dinner, Nikki dragged Aunt Yuki upstairs to show her the new dress she bought last week. Uncle Kato and I are watching TV. In the middle of our show, his phone dings with an email. As he opens the email, his jaw sets. What is it?
It's an email from the PI.
What does it say? He holds the phone out for me to see and we review the email together. Again, the content does not share much, but stresses that the incident might have been more than just an accident. The other driver had been spotted talking to Dad right before the car crash. Wait, someone wanted to hurt Dad on purpose? Koto's voice is grim.
That seems to be what the PI is implying.
Why would he want to hurt them?
I wish I knew. Wasn't the other driver someone your dad knew?
Yeah, Ezra Wilson was Dad's colleague. They worked closely on projects together.
Did something happen between them?
Not that I know of. We can't even ask him since he's still in a coma last I heard. Kato nods.
Well, the PI is still investigating. I'm sure he'll have more information soon.
None of this is making any sense. Ezra and Dad worked on the same projects together for as long as I can remember, and he always seemed like a nice guy. I can't imagine he'd want to hurt Dad. Does this mean Dad knew this was coming too? But how could that be? He only left because Nikki called him. And what about Mum? I let out a frustrated sigh. I wish you could just tell me what happened. Wait a minute. Dad's research. The strange encryption in my core. Uncle Kato noticed the change in my expression.
What is it?
I wonder if this has something to do with my core.
Because of the weird thing it did during your first match?
Maybe.
If whoever wanted your dad dead was after your core, then you might be in danger. You probably shouldn't use Eagle again just to be safe.
I wouldn't go that far. All my core did was use extra energy packs. At least that's what my professor said. That's why the referees didn't disqualify me from the match.
Extra energy doesn't sound like something to kill over.
My thoughts exactly. I brought up my core for a different reason. It might be nothing, but our team engineer found a weird encryption from Dad in my core. She didn't think it was anything important, but I'm not so sure.
What does it say?
I don't know. He nods. I try to refocus on the TV show, but I can't stop thinking about the accident on purpose. I think I'm going to go to bed.
Alright, try not to stress too much about this. I promise we'll find out what happened.
Smile weakly. Thanks, Uncle Kato. After saying goodnight, I get ready for bed and slip under the blankets. I close my eyes, trying to clear my mind, but end up running through every detail of the accident I remember, hoping to find a clue. Eventually, I fall asleep out of pure exhaustion. I slap off my alarm and feel unusually energized this morning. Today is our match against Akira, and after the training session yesterday with Coach Ivan, I feel confident in our abilities. This should be an exciting match. Alright. And that is that. There we go. Oh man. Anyway, that'll be that. Almost 2 hours. I mean, I would say 1.5 hours if you don't include the tangent I went on about, like, you know, what I'm thinking of doing in terms of, like, you know, pacing of the live stream series and how many I do. But yeah, as I mentioned, I think I'll do 3. I'll do Palia and the visual novel and then Pinball on the side. Thinking about it, I might even drop Palia altogether. I don't know. It's not like I'm not enjoying Palia. It's just, you know, I want to, you know, I'm going to be learning the engine, and I want to take that seriously, you know, because it's, you know, this has been years in the making. You know, I need to get a move on with shit. I made some. I think I've mentioned this earlier. I think I've mentioned this before on stream that I don't know if I have. I feel like there's a chance that I have. But anyway, I'm planning to maybe go back into education next year. You know, and you know, finish what I started, so to speak. You know, and part of that is, you know, putting what I've studied into practice, putting what I've learned so far and what I've studied so far into practice, but also continuing to develop my skills and, you know, learn more, right? And, you know, learning the game engine is part of that, right? To actually maybe make a game or work on a game and put my writing into practice, you know, finally, after all this time, and have something out there. I mean, I've written articles as of late, right? In the past year or two, I've written like a handful of articles. But to actually get back to writing stories, right, and putting them in a game that you can actually like interact with and stuff, that would be something else, right? Versus just writing an article. So it's not like I haven't dabbled in writing in recent years, but I want to get back to it, you know. And part of that is learning the engine. Like I said, I feel like I might have said it before, but that's for 2 reasons. One, you know, me and Mon have been talking about maybe working on a game together, and he wants to use Unreal. And secondly, I've looked into Unreal, and you can make visual novels with it, and there's some plugins that I've got bookmarked and stuff. So I can make a game with him, and even Mon, I think we talked about it the other day, like what I learned from working with him, I can then transfer that into the visual novel. So, you know, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I get to work with him on a game, so it's not just me doing it. So I'm not the only one doing all the work, and I get to take that knowledge and apply it for when I make my own game. You know, which will be a visual novel, which combines writing and game. So, I mean, so I want to try and I need to like. I won't stop streaming completely because I put effort into streaming, and it's nice to do on the side, right? But I definitely want to limit what I do because I don't want to go too hard, especially when I want to, you know, focus on personal projects and stuff, right? So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I will continue Palia, but I'll reserve it for. I'll be more relaxed about it. Like I'll reserve it for when I don't really feel like doing a visual novel, or I want to take a break from the visual novel, and I want to, I don't feel like playing pinball, because pinball is the one where I just sit and chill, you know, and I can play pinball on my own because there's nothing to progress, right, except for getting high scores. And I might play Palia off stream. I think that's another thing too, where I'm reserving it just to play on stream. I don't get to enjoy it as much as I'd like to, because I've got to think about like trying to be entertaining whilst I'm streaming it. So I feel like having the ability to play it off stream as well would be nice. So no, I think I will keep playing Palia, but I think I'm going to play it off stream as well, and limit how much I stream it, because I want to focus on the visual novel. And if I really want to play stream but don't feel like doing a visual novel, I can always do the pinball stuff, right? I think I will still stream Palia, but I'll keep that as a side series, maybe. Like if I don't feel like playing pinball, you know, because it can get boring, right? Like, it's fun to do here and there in doses, but I feel like streaming it for like multiple hours, I feel like Palia would be better suited for that. So maybe I'll stream the visual novel, but if I feel like taking a break, pinball or Palia, depending on how I feel. I think that's how I'll do it. I'll do Palia or pinball, and the visual novel will be the main series, and then Palia or pinball will be the side ones. Depending on how I feel, I'll do either one. And the fighting stuff, I may bring back the fighting streams, but at the same time, again, like I said, I don't want to stretch myself too thin. So we'll see how I feel. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have had a good week, as I said at the start. And if you're going through something, I hope you're able to get through it. And if not, I hope you have a good weekend. And if you're not looking forward to the weekend, hopefully you can find a reason to enjoy the weekend all the same. And hopefully you can find a reason to be happy. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate you all being here. I'll see you tomorrow for more of the visual novel. It doesn't look like I'm going to be doing Carrie After Story just yet. Seems like there's more to go. Which, you know, I mean, I'm enjoying the visual novel. It's just, you know, we can look forward to the anime con with Carrie. It's just, you know, I want to like finish it to get a move on with another visual novel, but at the same time, I don't want to go too hard and burn myself out, and then I'm not enjoying playing through it, you know, and I won't be as motivated to put in the effort, and I'm sure you'll pick up on that. So anyway, if I've been a torture attempt to any extent, or even a simple distraction for you from all the noise in your life, I'm grateful for that and I appreciate that. Thank you. Like I said, have a good rest of your Friday. I hope you look forward to the weekend, or you can find a reason to enjoy the weekend. Take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow, probably in the evening, for more of the visual novel. Have a good weekend. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll see you guys later. Subscribe. Take care. Bye.